Hello boys and girls, I'm here again, possibly the second time tonight if I get these videos done quickly, with the Nintendo digital event thingy bob thing, where they showed some game videos and then some developers talked with dubbed over voices for a while. Less games than any of the conferences, which is pretty typical of Nintendo, to be honest. They take a little bit longer to show their stuff, a bit slower. So let's get started, shall we? I do tend to rush through these fairly quickly, so do keep up. Star Fox Zero was the first game shown off today. Oddly, a lot of the video that they showed spent time with Shigeru Miyamoto explaining how he created Star Fox as if this was the first Star Fox game he had made. It was weird the way it was phrased. He kept sort of jumping back and forth between past and present tense. It's dubbed over though. I say it started with Star Fox. Star Fox with some Muppets, but don't worry about that. Star Fox Zero is looking sort of like a sort of an arena style shooter with, when I say arena style, more like that Star Fox game that was on the Wii, one where you had the open areas that you ran around and shot at. Vehicles transform. It looks quite decent. Doesn't look as good as a Wii U game should look to me. It kind of looks like a glossy Wii game. It doesn't look as graphically flashy as it possibly should. I don't know if that's them trying to keep things quite angular to recall the original Star Fox, but yeah, it could look better, I think. But this is also being made by Platinum Games as well, with Nintendo, and those guys know their shizzle. They've only really made one actual bad game, which was that Legend of Korra game. They've made generally pretty decent games. They're making a Transformers one, which looks awesome, but Star Fox Zero looks very good. Like, it looks like Star Fox. The only thing I'm really concerned about as far as gameplay goes, you seem to be using the Wii U pad to aim and shoot, which means you're going to have to constantly be looking at the Wii U pad rather than the screen. And they kept going on about how there's the action on the screen in third person, and then on your Wii you've got the cockpit shooting. You're not going to be having time to look at the screen. You're going to be shooting at the bottom screen all the time. You're going to be bobbing up and down maybe. There's a similar problem with a Kirby game that they released on the Wii U where you had to use the touchpad to do everything. Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing. The touchpad should be a secondary function to the main game, not the main source of gameplay, because then you're wasting a TV screen. I'd imagine you could probably play this game entirely on the touchpad. But yeah, it looked cool, but I don't know about that aiming. Hopefully you can just use an analog stick and shoot, because that'd be much easier. They followed that up with a little bit of talk about Amiibo briefly, and then jumped straight into Skylanders Superchargers, which is the new Skylanders game from Activision. But what they wanted to talk about here was that there's going to be new Skylander figures of Bowser and Donkey Kong, along with vehicles for each, that also double up as Amiibos. And it's quite cool because they're unique versions of Bowser and Donkey Kong, and you twist the little panel on the bottom to turn them so the chip inside stops reading the Skylander one, starts reading the Amiibo one, and then you can use them on other Mario and Nintendo games. It'd be quite interesting maybe if you could like put the supercharged Donkey Kong on a game and it would give them that costume in the game. But that Skylanders game, it looks like more of Skylanders fun with lots of driving around and vehicles and stuff. I think they've probably gone down the nuts and bolts route, haven't they? Where they've forgotten what the games were originally and now they're just things, just chuck everything in there. A new Zelda game was revealed, but not the Wii U one everyone would have liked to have seen. It's called Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes, which very much looks like Four Swords as like a 3DS game. It looks like it's going to be pretty fun and enjoyable. Four Swords was an excellent game. This one, only 3 players rather than 4 players. Apparently the reason was that when they stacked 4 players up, because they can jump on each other's shoulder and you can walk around as a totem, they called it, 4 players was too tall, which is a bit weird. I think that would have been quite good, taller the better with the 3DS death, but whatever. But it seems quite cool. The idea is that apparently in this town they need a hero, and there's like 3 people claiming to be the legendary hero of Link. And you're going to be able to change costumes for different effects. Like, I have a bomb costume and there's a Lucky Slumber Party costume for some reason. You can even dress up in Zelda's dress. That's nice. But yeah, a multiplayer Zelda game is going to be good, because like Four Swords was excellent, and if this can recreate that sort of fun. It looks more puzzle based and more dungeon crawler based than the Four Swords was, but Four Swords is legitimately one of the best Zelda games. If you can play the GameCube version with the controllers, best with the Game Boys as the controllers, best version of the game. They followed that up with Hyrule Warriors Legends for 3DS. Everyone can act surprised if you want. That trailer went out last week by accident, didn't it? It's basically the Wii U version of Hyrule Warriors ported to the 3DS with some Wind Waker content. The game's excellent, apparently, with Hyrule Warriors, so yeah, I'd definitely say that's worth a look. They actually showed a lot of 3DS stuff in one go, because they followed that up with Metroid Prime Federation Force, which was like a 3DS Metroid Prime team-based shooter, so kind of, I guess, doing 4 swords for Metroid. That also comes packed with a game called Blast Ball, which is going to be a multiplayer Metroid-themed, sort of soccer-looking thing. Kind of weird that. We would like a new Metroid game, please, Nintendo. Like a 2D one on the Wii U. That would be really nice. Or an actual Metroid Prime game from the guys who made Metroid Prime. But this does look interesting. It looks fun. Looks graphically kind of a bit sort of ropey for a 3DS game. 3DS can look better. Like it kind of looks just a little bit above what I remember that original DS Metroid game being. Metroid Prime Hunters, was it? But yeah, it could be cool. Could be nice. The trailer was very much like a cut together job. Wasn't any gameplay stuff, like as in pure gameplay. It was just little kind of snippets of gameplay. But it looks interesting. Doesn't look like Metroid. No Samus Aran in there. So they follow up with Fire Emblem Fates, which I'm guessing is well, that was weird because it just kind of came up and it looked very good. It looked like it's 3DS still, but I don't know if that's like maybe the Western version of Fire Emblem If. Because Fire Emblem If was going to be 2 separate games and you chose which one you play. So, yeah, I need to know more about Fire Emblem Fates before I judge that. But it does look like Fire Emblem, and there's a very cutscene heavy trailer, not really showing much. And they followed that up with Shin Megami Tensei X Fire Emblem, which is probably going to get a name change when it comes over here. I can't see that sticking with that name. But that looks lovely. It looks really cool. I'm really interested to see how they mix those two together. And it looks like there's music and dancing stages, which, you know, maybe is their way of getting the Persona 4 dancing game worked into it. It doesn't seem to rely so much on the Shin Megami Tensei stuff. It seems to be a bit more of a fantasy thing going on. Like, it didn't seem like there was much of an apocalypse going on, really. But yeah, it looked kind of cool. Looked pretty cool, and I want to see more of it. And it's bright and colourful, and seems like it's going to be a little bit silly. The trailer was a very Japanese-focused trailer. It was, you know, showing you the names of all the actors who are playing the characters, which is like, that's a big deal in Japan. Over here, we don't kind of make much fuss about it, do we? You might find out that one voice actor, like, you know, bloody Nola North's in the game or something. That might be it. But they really were front and centre. Here's the characters and here's who's playing it. Crom is going to be in it from Fire Emblem. So yeah, that'll be interesting. I will definitely give that a try when that comes out, if I can afford to buy a Wii U game. That'd be nice. Xenoblade Chronicles X. Hearing mixed things with reviews. Kotaku sort of gave it a fairly average review. They said it was decent but kind of boring. But that's due out over here later in the year. It's already out in Japan. I love Fire Emblem. It was excellent. The only problem with Fire Emblem is getting hold of Fire Emblem. UK copies nowadays sell for about 100 quid, even without the controller. And the 3DS one, you need to have the new 3DS to play it. So, you know, obviously Nintendo don't want us to play it. I was kind of hoping that they would show Xenoblade Chronicles X and then announce that the original one's released on the Virtual Console on the Wii U, but nah, not the case. Still, that's looking. I think the game looks excellent, and I want to play it now. There was a pair of Animal Crossing games shown off. There's Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer. I've written Animal Cross. I didn't have like 3 S's. My handwriting's terrible. But Happy Home Designer, they showed that off on one of the directs recently. It kind of takes the home, like, feng shui stuff from the Animal Crossing games and makes that the entirety of the game. Obviously there's a bit more to it than what there was on Animal Crossing. It's a lot more design focused, and there's things like building a school, it shows in one bit, and designing the garden for the characters and all that. It looks kind of quite neat, and it's going to use those amiibo cards. I imagine it might even use the Animal Crossing amiibo figures that are coming out, which go with Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, which very much looks like a Mario Party-esque board game type thing. It seems to look a lot like that other one, which I can't. Fortune Street has little elements of that in there, it seems. That's going to be interesting. It only uses the amiibos from Animal Crossing, though. I was kind of hoping when it said Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, you'd be able to like chuck Mario in there or something. But yeah, it looks cool. Yoshi's Woolly World looks brilliant, as usual. It's pretty much a sequel to Kirby's Epic Yarn. It is intentionally, and I really want one of those Yoshi amiibos, those woolly ones. We've seen the game a whole load, and it's not far off from release. It is just a pretty game. Nice little details when Yoshi jumps and his legs turn into propellers to keep him in the air rather than them kicking back and forth. When he drops, he turns into a mallet and all that. But yeah, that looks pretty. It looks very pretty, and it's a reason to get a Wii U, I think. Something like a proper platforming game. There was followed up by Yokai Watch, which in Japan is a huge thing. Massively successful anime series and game and all these little things. You get these little watches with characters that you put inside the watch. It's kind of like a bit Pokemon-esque. You're collecting up all these, I think they're ghosts, I think they're meant to be. But it's made by Level 5, who... They're the guys who made the Phoenix Wright games, Dark Chronicle, Dragon Quest. They've been in charge of Dragon Quest since about Dragon Quest 8. One of the best third-party developers in Japan, one of the few who are knocking it out of the park almost constantly. They also made the that football game, football RPG one, which I've forgotten the name of. Jesus, I haven't played it, but I know what I mean. But yeah, the Yokai Watch, that's probably going to be a big deal for kids when that comes out over here. Next up was the geniusly titled Mario and Luigi Paper Jam. You see what they did there? Because it's like Paper Mario, but there's also Mario and Luigi Superstar Sagas mixed together. So you've got like the two worlds of the two Mario RPG games sort of smushed together. So you've got like Paper Bowser facing off against regular Bowser, and Mario and Luigi teaming up with paper versions of themselves, combining little powers together. There's like a Papercraft Mario robot that you ride around on. That looks really sweet. I'm probably going to have to get that because the Superstar Saga games are brilliant, and so are the Paper Mario games. They're all like unique and varied, and there's fun. They're sort of more fun and silly. Like the writing in those games is amazing. It's always just brilliantly hilarious, and sometimes a little bit pervy. Sometimes very pervy, but they look great. There was also the last new game announced on this show was Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, which is just a big old tennis over-the-top Mario game. As we expect, Mario Tennis has been around for years, and every now and again it comes back, and it's quite interesting to see them bring that back now. There was quite a few sports games on the Wii. There was Mario Basketball, the baseball one that no one played. There was that Mario Strikers and tennis. This is the first sports one on the Wii U. Seems like they're not focusing on that. I think Nintendo thought on the Wii that if they did sports games, loads of gamers would come, stop playing FIFA and play Mario sports games. Not going to happen. But yeah, it looks silly. Your characters can grow and smack the balls back and forth. I guess then they put more power on it and make it tougher for the smaller characters to return. But yeah, Mario Tennis is a lot of fun, so that'll be interesting. I'm more interested in Mario Golf. I'd like a new Mario Golf game, please. Maybe with some sort of course design that you can draw on the Wii U pad. That'd be nice to do that. And the last game they showed, because they really didn't do that many games, was Super Mario Maker, which everyone seems to think is going to be brilliant, and I think it will be too. I'll be interested to see what kind of fiendish levels people come up with. I wonder if people will be able to recreate levels from Brutal Mario in it, if all the physics and everything work out right. I quite like that you can flip between different styles. I'd quite like it if you could mix styles. They also announced that certain amiibos will work with it, and you put them on there, and if you collect a mystery mushroom somewhere in the stage, you'll like turn into that character. So you can turn Mario into a Wii Fit trainer or Link or something like that. That looks quite cool. Hopefully they got little special abilities with those characters. But Super Mario Maker is brilliant. It's Nintendo's push at Little Big Planet, sort of somewhere between Little Big Planet and Mario Paint, which I've still got a copy of. Should do a Let's Play of Mario Paint. But yeah, Mario Maker looks brilliant. Looks absolutely superb, and I think that's going to be interesting. I'd like to see some multiplayer element put in there, like where you can both sort of create levels, or maybe let one person creating the level while the other person's playing it, like they're drawing stages in and stuff as you figure out your way through the level, which they kind of did in New Super Mario Bros. On the Wii U. But yeah, that was Nintendo's digital event. It was pretty decent. It wasn't as exciting as the Sony one. It was a bit more interesting than the Xbox one, which was just kind of very middle of the road. But nothing really massive on there. A lot of the new games they announced were either 3DS games or sort of side project games. There wasn't a big game announcement. It wasn't something to really blow you away. Like Star Fox Zero isn't the big game announcement. They really should have brought the new Zelda game. It's kind of interesting that they didn't, seeing as it's meant to be out next year. But yeah, Nintendo's conference, probably give it a 7. Wouldn't say it's as good as the Sony one, but it was interesting. And the puppets at the start were funny. Let's have more puppets. Lots of Reggie doing workout as a puppet. He had big monkey arms, which is possibly racist. Bye.